What's crack-a-lackin', and welcome to the final mock the mock of the 2024 NFL draft cycle. Got a good one for you today. We're going to be taking a look at ESPN's own Matt Miller and his predictive mock draft. This is what he thinks will happen. Miller predicts 32 picks in the first round. So let's go ahead, take a look at this sucker. Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams right now is like minus 20,000. So you'd have to you'd have to bet $100 or you'd have to bet $20,000 to get 100 back. Yeah, he's going to be the new franchise quarterback for the Bears. We'll see what they do at 9. I'm curious if there's trades in this. I imagine there is, because a lot of people anticipate the Vikings are going to be the team to move up for a quarterback. But go ahead, let's keep this sucker rolling. On to the Washington Commanders, Jaden Daniels. I mean, the smoke is there for Jaden Daniels at number 2. There was a little bit of oh man, Jaden Daniels didn't like that Commanders had private interviews with private workouts with other quarterbacks. Who would have thought? But then he went on, I forgot whose show, but talking about how excited he is by the thought of playing for Washington. He likes the playmakers there. So I don't know, man. Let's read what Matt has to say in this blurb. The conversations I've had over the past week point to Daniels being picked here, but I would also caution the new Commanders GM Adam Peters comes from the John Lynch tree in San Francisco, a team that executed a leak-proof process when they took Trey Lance over Mac Jones and Justin Fields. That's actually kind of true. So I can't completely rule out Drake May. Washington might even still be finalizing the decision. And he talks about Daniels scoring a lot of touchdowns last year, winning the Heisman. I don't know where I'm going to fall on this. Tomorrow morning, I'll release my predictive mock draft. Because, for me, I think May is the better prospect. Then you could also make the case that Daniels is the more Cliff Kingsbury type of quarterback, though I think that's kind of a stretch because May's right up there too. So I don't know. It's going to be tough. It's going to be interesting. Regardless, we know this is quarterback. New England Patriots, they're going Drake May. Again, another team in the quarterback market. They can pick with number 3, or they said they've been open to a trade haul here for number 3. I don't know if they're going to get that done. I really don't. I think ideally we're going to be talking about the Cardinals or the Chargers as the teams that are trying to move up to get quarterback 4 in this class. Those are the teams that those quarterback needy teams will be looking at to make a move up for. But Patriots, they get their franchise quarterback. Good on them. We still have the Cardinals at number 4, taking Marvin Harrison Jr. They get a legit playmaker, a wide receiver to pair up there with Michael Wilson. They have a lot of draft capital in this draft. They could make a move up from 27 with some of their other capital on day 2. So they could sit at this pick, and if they really like someone, then they can move. I don't think they're trading out, but who knows, man? They moved up and they moved back and then moved up last season. All right, at 5 is where we get the projected trade. Here is the value. It's gonna be pick 11, pick 23, and next year's first. So no kidding. When you give away 3 first rounders, this one's gonna be quarterback. Minnesota, they move up. They take JJ McCarthy. Again, since that trade with Houston happened, where the Vikings acquired a second first rounder, every one of their moms been saying, Vikings, they're probably interested in McCarthy. Probably what's going to happen here. So this is one that I'm probably going to do in my predictive mock as well. I don't know. I'll get knee deep into the rumors and see what actually happens. I'll talk about my mock tomorrow then. But they get their franchise quarterback. Doesn't have to start right away. They got Sam Darnold. But now, Justin Jefferson, he knows exactly who will be thrown to him for the future. New York Giants. They take Malik Neighbors. I've seen a little bit rumors of the Giants wanting to move up, go after a quarterback. I've seen rumors that, hey, if they can't move up, they're willing to take Michael Penix at 6. I think that's a bit wild. Again, the rumors are going to ramp up this week, especially when it comes to the quarterback, especially when it comes to the top of the class. I think maybe it's just more likely that they sit here at 6 and just take a wide receiver. They went out during free agency and took care of the offensive line. Now they're probably looking to get another playmaker there, and Daniel Jones is essentially his last hurrah. Tennessee Titans, they go Joe Alt. To me, this is one of the more easy chalk picks here, as they released Andre Dillard. They paid Calvin Ridley a ton of money. They have D-Hop still there. There's still hopes for Treylon Burks. Yeah, they're probably going to try to get their freaking offensive line in order and help protect Will Levis and his poor ankles from last year. I think he hurt both his ankles at different points last season. So Joe Alt, again, this is probably, for me, this is an easy just chalk it in there. At pick 8, the Atlanta Falcons, they go with Byron Murphy. Okay, here's the first big surprise. I don't mind it, though. I have the Falcons going defense. Most people do. But not going with edge. Murphy would fit in Coach Raheem Morris's defense as a 3-tech in the mold of Aaron Donald. He is stout at the point of attack and has awesome first-step quicks. Some scouts say he's the best defender in the class. Yeah, he's been brought up about it. I wonder what this betting line is for him being the first defender off the board. I'm gonna check those draft prompts after I put this video out, but really excited to get in on some of the action there. And shoot, if you want to get in on the action, check out Underdog Fantasy. What a segue. When you sign up using promo code Broshmo, they match your first deposit up to $100 dues. They have currently best ball leagues where you can draft these rookies right here, right now for next season. But it's not just football. They also have basketball, baseball, and all kinds of sports. Remember, sign up. When you do, use promo code Broshmo. They'll match that first deposit up to $100 dues. And as always, bet wisely, bet responsibly. Pick 9, Chicago Bears, Rome Odunze. Oh, called it Rome Odunze. Yeah, I mean, yeah, for Rome Odunze makes it here to 9, then yeah, absolutely. It's Rome Odunze. Not much to say here. I mean, Caleb Williams is coming into a great situation where he has all of the weapons. So I like that quite a bit. I think this could be a trade down spot for the Bears where they look to acquire just more draft capital. They only have 4 picks in this draft class. And it's a really good draft class to only have 4 picks. New York Jets go Brock Bowers. Oh, I've been screaming this for like the last month or so. Let's see. Let's read this one. I keep hearing pass catcher when reaching out to sources about the Jets. That's not what I would do when the offensive line is anchored by 233-year-olds. Okay. I get it. Tyron Smith, Morgan Moses, they're old. But you're anticipating them to be your starters all year next year. If you want depth, address it later. If you want depth, I don't know, sign some players. You're here at pick 10. You have a very minimal Super Bowl window. Why are you drafting depth? Well, because you know these guys are going to go down. Like, this isn't a scenario where you're looking for the long term. Yeah, it'd be nice. But no, you're going to be, it's a Super Bowl window with Aaron Rodgers. Give him all the weapons that you can. They brought in Mike Williams. Now go get Brock Bowers, who could work in the slot and in line. To me, it just makes too much sense. Probably going to be betting heavy on Brock Bowers to the Jets. All right, pick 11. This is the Chargers. They go to Lanise Fuaga. All right, Chargers trade back up from 5, or trade back from 5, and blah, blah, blah. They get a right tackle. Everyone's kind of anticipating right tackle if the Chargers move back, just because, you know, Jim Harbaugh going to Jim Harbaugh. He likes a little bit of smash mouth. Fuaga could play guard early if they want to keep Pipkins at, or if they want to run with Pipkins as their starter. But I think I'd rather have Zion Johnson and Sawyer playing my guard spots and then just playing Fuaga at tackle. Like, I think Pipkins is probably worse than what they have on the interior. But, I mean, you get a versatile body that if injuries do happen, you can move them around. So, yeah, cool. Denver Broncos, they go with Dallas Turner. The Broncos have been connected to Oregon's Bo Nix in this spot, but this is simply too early for him, making it hard to imagine the Broncos sacrificing so much in value to get the 5th quarterback on the board. I mean, dude, Patriots deal with Mac Jones at 15. Perhaps Denver would attempt a trade back since it doesn't have a second rounder, but a few conversations this week led me to Turner here. There are enough people who say Denver will look to beef up the pass rush first and potentially make a move at quarterbacks in a secondary trade. I kind of like that. I think that makes sense. Just expended next year's first rounder to move up in the back end of the first round to go get a quarterback. I kind of like that. I think I introduced that idea like a few weeks ago. Yeah, because I was talking to Bengal about it. And I was like, dude, here's the idea I really love. This is how the Broncos have their cake and eat it too. Yeah, we got Las Vegas Raiders. They go JC Latham. So currently, I don't know as of this video posted, but the Raiders, the bet in favor for what position the Raiders take is offensive line. It's offensive line. Corner, not too far behind it, but it's offensive line. There has been like quarterback talk, but I think the Raiders are out in the first round on quarterback. That's honestly what I believe. I think they may look to it in round 2, but here they get JC Latham, who will come in, play right tackle or right guard, with Thayer then playing whatever Latham doesn't. You kind of solidify that offensive line. You feel really good about it. You're going to try to run the ball down people's throats. They might even go with the running backs at some point in this draft. So I like that pick for the Raiders. Latham might not be the highest on Latham, but I like it in theory. Olu Fashanu going to the New Orleans Saints. Bet it now. Saints going tackle. There's not a more tackle needy team in the NFL than the Saints right now. At 15, the Indianapolis Colts go with Xavier Worthy. Okay, hold the flippin' phone. Let's read this one. Here's one where I'm going all in on intel. The Colts have been linked to Worthy in numerous phone calls and texts over the past week. Enough so that I'm buying it. The Colts do need a speedy receiver, and Worthy has record-setting 4.21 wheels, putting him in the mix with Michael Penix and last year's second rounder Josh Downs. Imagine Worthy matched with Richardson's arm. Yeah, I get it. Golly. I don't know, man. I'm curious. What is the over-under on Xavier Worthy's? What's the over-under on Xavier Worthy's draft stock? All right, I'm going to go to FanDuel. Actually, no, I'll just Google it and get it from multiple sites. Xavier Worthy over or under odds. All right, here we go. So this is from just a couple hours ago, and it's currently at 31.5. That's tempting. That's tempting. If I made that bet, it probably would be by itself, or maybe if I did like a round robin. I don't think I would include that on my parlay because I just don't have a ton of confidence in it. But I could see like speed kills. You've seen speedsters go in the first, so it's not out of the realm of possibility, obviously. All right, Seattle Seahawks. They go Troy Fautanu. Makes a world of sense. Ryan Grubb, he's the OC. He was the OC at Washington, where Fautanu played. So they have a big looming hole at guard that they try to fill with Lincoln Tomlinson, but they don't have to be done yet. And I mean, if you continue to have injury problems at tackle between Cross and Lucas, then Fautanu just kicks out there. So I like it. I like it. But before we get to pick 17, if you want to come draft day and like know who your team is drafting, I got a draft guide for you. Check it out. Listen, I know you love the NFL draft as much as I do, and you're going to want a nice hefty watch list of players during this college football season. Well, go ahead, check out my draft guide. You can purchase it for only $30 by Venmoing or PayPaling me. Links in the description. It's a one-time payment and you get it for this whole draft cycle and forever and always. Technically, it's a Google spreadsheet. So send me your email when you send the payment. I'll get you hooked up. You will see my current prospect rankings and big board, my full evals. And guess what? It updates throughout the whole draft cycle. So it's a great purchase and it's a great way to support the channel. All right, pick 17, Terrion Arnold going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I feel like Arnold goes earlier than this. I'm kind of curious what his current odds are. I bet you it's going to be around like 15 to 14 and a half. I feel like it's going to be in that area. But there's, listen, the Jags, they need a corner. They do. They got Ron Darby there. Fine depth. I'd rather have someone else. I think they could be a team that trades down to like maybe a Buffalo to get, so Buffalo could get Brian Thomas Jr. And perhaps the Jags end up going Kool-Aid in that scenario, because then they'd be at 28, which is right in front of the Lions, who are another team that's very a popular landing spot for Kool-Aid McKinstry. So, I mean, I think going corner is like regardless like the good thing to do for the Jags. Corner's fallen, by the way. This is the first corner off the board. Cincinnati Bengals. They go with Brian Thomas. The future at wide receiver is unclear with T. Higgins, franchise tag, requesting a trade. They haven't brought back Tyler Boyd. So the Bengals have to restock the pantry at the position. I don't know, man. Bengals are one of the tougher ones. I feel like tackle's not out of the realm of possibility. You think about interior, but now Byron Murphy is being projected much higher. The receiver's definitely on the board. I'm curious if we'll see any like big wide receiver trades during day one of the draft. Maybe Brandon Ayuk, maybe T. Higgins. I don't know. We'll see. Jared Verse going to the Los Angeles Rams here at 19. Gives them a nice little speed and power profile to pair up there with the speed of Byron Young. I do think edge is like, there's a lot of positions the Rams could go. Corner, I think tackle's not out of the realm of possibility, but Jared Verse, this is great value here. Latu's still on the board, by the way. Okay, Pittsburgh Steelers go Quinyon Mitchell. This is just so ideal. So ideal. Like, pair it up, Quinyon Mitchell with Joey Porter Jr. is just freaking wow. I love it. I love it. Then the Steelers maybe attempt to address like maybe tackle or center or wide receiver in day 2. I think that's a-okay. But this is really good value. I like that. I like it quite a bit. I think Quinyon goes higher than this though. Miami Dolphins, they go with Graham Barton. I actually already made up my mind where Graham Barton's going to go in terms of just some of the rumors I've seen. And I'll tell you, it's not here, but I wouldn't mind Graham Barton. You got Isaiah Wynn at left guard, but he can play either side of the line, so I don't mind that. So if you want to keep Barton on the left side, because keep in mind, this cat was recruited as a guard, played center his freshman year, and then played left tackle the last 3 years. If you want to keep him on the left side, just move Wynn to right guard and call it a day. So I like this. I like the Dolphins establishing the trenches. Philadelphia Eagles. They go Tyler Guyton. Let's read this first before I really comment on it. Corner is definitely in play and a need, but I can't get over the fact that GM Howie Roseman has never drafted a corner in the first round. The Eagles tend to get ahead of needs, drafting for position before it becomes an issue, and they like to prioritize the trenches and added Lane Johnson's protege, Johnson and Guyton. Oh, okay, I see. Johnson and Guyton, 2 Oklahoma alums, get to work together in the offseason. Guyton could also play right guard if Steen doesn't slide into that spot this season. All right. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is the predictable route to go. Sounds like the Eagles do want to move up and get aggressive. Question is for who? I hope it's a corner. I hope there's a corner that they like. Los Angeles Chargers, they go Nate Wiggins. Nate Wiggins was a top 30 visit. They have been pinned to Nate Wiggins. I think I did this in my 7-round predictive kind of mock draft. And I mean, this is a team that's desperate for corner value, period. Corner depth, period. They got Asante Samuel Jr. That's about it. They brought in Christian Fulton, but that's great. That's fine. I'd rather he's depth. But Wiggins, man, he might have the highest ceiling of any of the corners in this draft, like legitimately. So, like that. We got Dallas Cowboys going to Marius Mims. Mims is going to be a tough one. This tackle class to pin down who goes where, that's going to be tough. That's going to be intriguing. Again, it's going to be a fun ride on Thursday night. How this first round lays out. But I like Mims. He ends up probably slotting into that left tackle position immediately. I think he's only got 8 career starts. So if you're like, oh, he's a right tackle. No. He could probably play both sides. A guy that's this early into his development, but has just such crazy tools. Yeah, you could switch sides for him. No problem. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below, where we have that nice, beautiful football discourse. Green Bay Packers, Cooper DeJean as the prophecy foretold. Man, are the Packers going to get aggressive? Are they going to make a move up the board? These are questions that I have in my mind, but I don't have answers for. I think Cooper DeJean's a good fit there for Halflay's defense. He has the size. He has the length. You're worried about him playing in press? No, he probably could, just because he didn't do it at Iowa. He's got the body to be very good at that at the NFL. So, I mean, and if you're looking at it like, okay, he could play maybe slot or safety, we'll just get him into camp and figure it out. I think that's fine. Tampa Bay Buccaneers go Liatu Latu. Listen, man, I think Liatu Latu goes top 20. I am curious about the injuries, like the injury with the neck, but it sounds like it's been a no problem. Kind of curious. Let's read this real quick, actually. Medicals are a huge thing for Latu's draft stock, which would set him up to be drafted much earlier than this if teams are good with the neck injury he had at Washington in 2020. Okay, then he just talks him up. Yeah, I think we could be dealing with like a Jalen Phillips situation where like Latu's probably going top 30 once he was going to just be like, yeah, no, we're not worried about the neck. Send it. Oh, we got a trade back at the back end. Cardinals trade him back. Okay. So, Cardinals get 44. And they get a second rounder next year. Oh, man. This isn't a great trade. This isn't a great trade. And the Raiders move up to get Michael Penix Jr. Penix has been linked to the Raiders over and over in the weeks leading up to the draft. So much so that there's either genuine interest or the team is doing its best to fool us all, but the strong-armed... Okay, then he just talks him up. Like, I don't think Raiders do this. I don't think they're gonna move up for a quarterback. If so, they might in the second round, but I don't know. They brought in Gardner Minshew. I just assumed they were out in the first round on quarterback, but I mean, in this scenario, they move up the back end of the second round, so I think it's all right. Buffalo Bills, Adonai Mitchell. That's right, it's a receiver to the Bills. Who would have thought? Oh, yeah, no, you lost Stephon Diggs. Well, you traded Stephon Diggs, and you lose that just really good route runner, and then also you don't bring back Gabe Davis, so you lose that vertical deep threat. Adonai Mitchell's kind of both. He's a really good route runner and a nice big body deep threat. Not as thick as Gabe Davis, but brings a lot more speed to the table. Okay, Detroit Lions, Darius Robinson out of Mizzou with the draft in the Lions City. Team could use this pick to select a hometown prospect in Robinson, who is from the Detroit suburbs at 285. Blah, blah, blah. Talks about his versatility. He's an extended player whom the Lions could develop opposite or next to Aiden Hutchinson. It's definitely a fascinating thought, and one after the Senior Bowl. Like, Robinson was a very popular mock to the Lions right after the Senior Bowl, so something to keep in mind there. Baltimore Ravens, they go with Chop Robinson. No team loves toolsy pass rushers like the Ravens, who have drafted Odafe Owe and David Ojabo in recent years. Fortunately, Ojabo coming off his second ACL injury in, well, like 2 to 3 years, so they're probably going to be looking for a little more insurance there. Chop Robinson is very toolsy, at least athletically, so I kind of like it. They have also had a private meeting with a Jordan Morgan, or a private workout, so that's also something to keep in mind here. But I think this back end of the first round is good value for Chop. At 31, San Fran goes with Kool-Aid McKinstry. Niners likely will go best player available. Yes. This could all change if wide receiver Brandon Ayuk gets traded, but the best value is McKinstry. I like pairing McKinstry up there with Ward. You move Diamador Lenore to the into the slot, where they haven't really had good production from. Sorry, Ambry Thomas, just not that, just hasn't worked out there. But I love Kool-Aid here. You could also talk about the variety of like Jackson Powers Johnson. Essentially, really just any of the offensive line talent that might be available here. And to wrap this up, we got Xavier Leggett going to the Kansas City Chiefs. There's enough buzz this week about BYU tackle Kingsley Suamataia to connect him here, but I can't overlook his ranking on my board as a late second rounder, and I think Kansas City Kansas City's ties to him could come in round 2. I think that's probably a little bit more reasonable, but I mean, you'd have to trade up at like probably like the early, at the very least mid portion of the second round to get your hands on Kingsley Suamataia. But with Rashee Rice, I don't know what's going to go on with him, if he's going to face a suspension or not. But they did bring in Marquise Brown. Kadarius Toney sucks, unfortunately. Sky Moore, they really haven't got much from, so it's like, yeah, you want to get more playmaking, more passing options for the best quarterback in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes. And Leggett gives them, honestly, what they were kind of hoping to get out of like a Justin Ross, big body vertical threat. I kind of like that. But there's his mock draft. No Jackson Powers Johnson. Shouldn't be that surprising. Feel like he's probably going to go early second just because of position he plays. But I mean, one of these teams in the back end of the first, like the Niners and whatnot, the Cowboys, I could definitely see them sending it and grabbing a Patrick Jackson Powers Johnson. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you want more draft content, hey, I got draft content. If you want to brush up on some of these prospects prior to the draft, then check out these videos down here. But as always, until next time, be easy, my friends. Later.